News that's coming in from the United States of America. It's the US President Donald Trump who's hosting the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Donald Trump and Zelenskyy, they have held long conversations at the White House. The United States is hesitant to use the Tomahawk with Ukraine. Hope the war ends without the Tomahawks. This is a statement which is coming in from the US President Donald Trump. Putin and Zelenskyy, they don't like each other. This is also one of the statements coming in from the US President Donald Trump.
I think they're both doing a great job in that sense. We have to get it done. We've got to take some of the hatred of each other. You know, they don't like each other. I say that in front of President Zelenskyy, but I say it in front of President Putin too. They have tremendous bad blood. It really is what is holding up, I think, a settlement. I think we're going to get it done, and we have to make it long-lasting. As I said in the Middle East, everlasting, right? Everlasting. And the Middle East is a much more complicated situation. You know, we had 59 countries involved, and every one of them agreed. And it's, you know, it's sort of amazing. Most people didn't think that was doable. This is going to be something I really believe that's going to get done. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. I think he wants to get it done. Well, that's a problem. We need Tomahawks, and we need a lot of other things that we've been sending over the last 4 years to Ukraine. We've been, you know, we gave them a lot. Now we have a different situation. We send it to the European Union. They pay for it and all that, and they have plenty of money. But it's beyond the money. You know, we need Tomahawks, and we need a lot of other weapons that we're sending to Ukraine. And one of the reasons we want to get this war over is exactly that. It's not easy for us to give. You're talking about massive numbers of very powerful weapons. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about Tomahawks.
My colleague Rohit Sharma is with me on the story. Rohit, you know, we have seen how US President Donald Trump, ever since he's taken the office, has been pushing for this war to end. And what we are seeing now, the United States hosting Volodymyr Zelenskyy, another push being given by the US President to end the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yes, you know, one of the promises that President Trump had made on the campaign trail last year was that he would end this war. And in his own admission, he has said that he thought this could be an easier war to end. I mean, the statement that we were showing right now, you know, he goes on to also add that, you know, he had assumed that this war, the Russia-Ukraine war, would be over before the Israel and Hamas war. So essentially, I think he's made it a priority. He spent 2 hours talking to Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. He hosted Zelenskyy again. This was the 3rd time Zelenskyy was in town. It was a 2-hour-long meeting, 2.5-hour-long meeting, in which Zelenskyy wanted a commitment from the U.S. to give them the Tomahawk missiles, which was in a very not so nicer way, our sources are telling us, was denied by President Trump. I think the message that President Trump gave to Zelenskyy was, you know, we're not going to be giving you those missiles right now. If we want to end this war, there could be an unintended escalation if these missiles were to be handed over to Ukraine. And now President Trump is scheduled to be meeting with a Russian president in 2 weeks' time. Also, Marco Rubio is leading a delegation to meet with the Russian delegation next week. So that's how he ended the meeting, and then put up a post on Truth Social where he said, you know, he hopes that this war could end and there's no more further escalation. So Zelenskyy did not get what he wanted from this meeting, but President Trump, you know, his message always has been peace through strength, and I think he was pretty, you know, okay-ish in that meeting. He did not berate Zelenskyy, but also did not give Zelenskyy what Zelenskyy wanted.
Right. Thank you, Rohit, giving us those details and also putting out that anecdote that US President Donald Trump did not give Zelenskyy what he was asking for.